The old man sat alone by the diner window, his hands shaking as he wrapped them around a chipped cup of coffee. Most people walked past him without a glance. Some looked away, but one teenage waitress stopped, and in that quiet moment, 2 lives changed forever. The diner was called Maple Street Cafe, a small place on the edge of town where the lights were always warm and the coffee was always strong. It wasn't fancy. The tables wobbled a little, and the bell above the door rang too loudly every time someone walked in. 16-year-old Lena had been working there after school for almost a year. She wore the same faded blue apron every shift, its pockets filled with order slips and folded napkins. Her feet usually hurt by the end of the night, but she never complained. Lena worked to help her mother pay rent. Her father had passed away years ago, and since then, life had been about small sacrifices and quiet strength. Still, Lena smiled easily. She believed kindness was free and worth. That evening was slow. Rain tapped softly against the windows. Then the door opened. A man stepped inside wearing an old coat, frayed at the cuffs. His beard was untrimmed, his shoes worn thin. He hesitated at the entrance, as if unsure whether he belonged. Some customers glanced up. One woman frowned. A man near the counter sighed in irritation. The host looked uncomfortable. The man took a seat by the window, alone. Lena noticed him right away. She picked up a menu and walked over, her voice gentle. "Hi, sir. Can I get you something warm tonight?" The man looked up, surprised. "Just coffee, if that's okay." "Of course," Lena said, smiling. As she poured the coffee, she noticed his hands, rough, tired, but clean. He held the cup like it was something precious. A few minutes later, her manager whispered sharply, "Lena, don't let him stay too long if he can't pay." Lena nodded quietly, though her heart tightened. She returned to the table. "Would you like something to eat? We have soup today." The man shook his head quickly. No, coffee is enough." She hesitated, then asked softly, "Are you waiting for someone?" He smiled faintly. "You could say that." At the counter, a customer muttered, "These places shouldn't encourage loitering." Another said, "He'll probably ask for money." Lena heard it all. When she brought the check, the man looked at it for a long moment. Then he reached into his pocket and placed a few coins on the table. "Not enough." "I'm sorry," he said quietly. "This is all I have." Lena felt something stir inside her chest. She picked up the coins, then gently placed them back in front of him. "It's okay," she said. "The coffee's on me." His eyes widened. "You don't have to do that." "I know," she replied. "But I want to." She walked back to the counter, paid for the coffee with her own tips, and returned a moment later, this time with a bowl of hot soup and a slice of bread. "I thought you might need this," she said. The man stared at the food, stunned. "Why?" he asked. Lena shrugged softly. "Because everyone deserves to be warm." Tears welled in his eyes, though he quickly looked away. After he finished eating, the man stood slowly. He reached into his coat, paused, then said, "Young lady, may I ask your name?" "Lena," she said. "Well, Lena," he replied. "You've reminded me of something I almost forgot." He placed a neatly folded napkin on the table and walked toward the door. The bell rang. Lena picked up the napkin, expecting maybe a thank you note. Instead, there was a short message. "Kindness reveals more than wealth ever could." And beneath it, an address and a time. The next morning, Lena arrived at the address, confused and nervous. It was a tall glass building downtown, one she had only seen on the news. Inside, security greeted her by name. She was escorted into a large conference room. And there, standing at the head of the table, clean-shaven and sharply dressed, was the man from the diner. No worn coat, no tired shoes. He smiled. "My name," he said, "is Mr. Hale, and I own this company." Lena's breath caught. He continued gently. "I wanted to see how people treat others when there's nothing to gain. You treated me like a human being." He slid a folder across the table. Inside was a full scholarship, a letter of recommendation, and a note offering support for her family. Lena covered her mouth, tears falling freely. "I didn't do it for this," she whispered. "I know," he said. "That's why you deserve it." Weeks later, Maple Street Cafe received a donation large enough to renovate the entire diner. Lena's mother no longer worried about rent. And Lena? She continued working, still wearing her faded blue apron, still smiling at everyone who walked through the door. Because kindness hadn't changed who she was. It had simply revealed it. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can change someone's world.